Just had a sad realization. Due to the immutable laws of mathematics, I will never have a big milestone vlog. Because 50 is always more impressive than 51, even though 51 is a higher number! I suppose I can take solace in the fact that I will be able to say that I have made 50 of my contribution to this vlog, but that would be the 99th Venture Labs vlog, to be followed immediately by the impressive 100th milestone. Damn you, math! I have also been thinking more about games because that's what my life is now. In a completely coincidental, somewhat alarming sharing of intellectual real estate, I too have been thinking of a game not unlike Pandemic, but involving rather more cults, as lately that seems to be my bent. The game would involve a cult, not unlike Mormonism, Scientology, Jehovah's Witnessesism, doesn't matter. We can call it Cyan-Mormos Witness Cult. Anyway, the players are all in charge of the country, and they have to keep this blasted cult in check, much like in Pandemic with the diseases. But then I got to thinking that's just Pandemic but with cults instead of diseases, and besides it might offend some cult leaders somewhere, and they'd send their goons after me, and I'm the kind of person who would agree to anything a goon told me that I was going to agree to, so that's not going to work for me. But what if the goal was to separate church and state? You need both forces. The church gives people hope, keeps the masses from revolting. In the wake of an attack, you need something to look up to, whatever. But you don't want the religion gaining too much foothold, too much power, and corrupting the whole system. So it's a balancing act. You've got to keep both sides satisfied and keep the whole thing as centrist and moderate as possible. Then I got to thinking, what if the game was played in stages? See, I'm obsessed with the concept of paradigm shifts, with the entirety of the establishment believing one thing, while various outliers working from within the system and start to poke holes in it, discovering and finding more and more problems with the accepted worldview until, poof, it's poked so full of holes that it can't support the weight of its own ideology anymore, and there's a paradigm shift. It happens both suddenly and gradually, all at the same time, and it's fascinating to me. But anyway, the game would operate under different rule sets for the various stages, and perhaps each of the players has a different vested interest in which rule state is being followed at the time. But they all have an interest in the world, the entire world, running smoothly, so they have to work together to maintain things. But they also want to try to get their rules into effect. It would be a long game, I think, quite complicated, but perhaps after we see what Pantheon does, it could be something to develop, maybe even encompassing some of our other game ideas into it and using it as a mechanic. Anyway, I think that is enough of me for today. I have my game to get back to, I have my articles to get back to, and I am working feverishly on my novel that I want to eventually share with people. And I don't want to be one of those people who goes on and on about their novel, but yeah, I am one of those people, so you will probably be hearing more about it later. And also, I am going to try to have a little bit of fiction up on the Tumblr page later this week, so keep your eye out for that. Anyway, Corey, I will see you tomorrow, and I will be back here on Thursday.